You got two different communities here, okay? You got those who have political power and influence, say McConnell, Biden, and many other names who support China, and they're saying, hey, take it easy.
Right.
They're an ally. I think you went to the Department of Commerce and they said, China's not the adversary, they're our friends, we cooperate with them. These were the words you wrote in your book, right? Okay. So on one side you have the political people, that they shouldn't be doing this, because if they have interest with their kids, wife, whatever, okay. Then the other side is investors, business owners, hedge fund folks, entrepreneurs, folks who made their money in America, yet they want to make sure China still has the ability to do business because they lose money, right?
Of course.
This goes to the bottom line.
Right.
Do you think their motives is okay because it's just purely money and they want to protect their investments for themselves, their clients, their businesses, and these two are complete different ways to be held accountable?
That's the system we built, right?
You know what I'm asking.
I know
obviously.
exactly what you're asking. That's the system we built. And so you can't criticize businessmen because our system says you owe fiduciary responsibility to the shareholder. That's your job. And oh, by the way, you can actually be sued or brought up on charges for not doing your job, not fulfilling your fiduciary responsibility. So there could be an argument made that if you're not cooperating with the Chinese Communist Party, that you're actually harming your company. Okay?
There you go.
Right?
Okay.
So you can't criticize them for that. What you can criticize is the policies of the government that allowed for the behavior to occur in the first place. And I'll give you an example. Level 1 versus level 3 assets. I talk about it in the book. China has non-convertible currency, strict capital controls. Since 2015, you can't get money out of the country, only in special circumstances, and only depending on what the business you're doing. So we have plenty of corporations that have billions of dollars over there that they're carrying on their financial statements as level 1 assets, meaning just like cash in the bank here. But you can't get it. And so, but if you're showing profits and it's going into cash in the bank in China, then how are you being compensated as an executive or on a board of directors for that company? You're probably getting compensated based on the money you're making in China. But yet the shareholders can never see that money because you have strict capital controls in a non-convertible currency. Okay, so we've created an incentive system, but just based on our accounting standards, FASB, and the Securities and Exchange Commission can change this. The Treasury Department could change this and say, no, if it's in China, it's non-convertible currency, strict capital controls, they can't get the money out, it's a level 3 asset. And therefore, all you corporations need to do a restatement. What would that say? Now CEOs wouldn't want to invest in China because it wouldn't count toward their compensation. Now board of directors wouldn't advise the CEOs that they should invest in China because it wouldn't count towards their compensation. We build a system that incentivizes behavior for the destruction of the country. That's not the fault of the business community. That's the fault of the government.
Great point. So essentially a company who runs a sales organization runs a compensation structure that produces bad behavior. It's not the salesperson's fault. It's the organization's fault for producing the compensation structure the way it did. So what you're saying is a complete restructure of our agreements and arrangements with China. You're talking about having to change a lot of things for us to move forward. You're not just saying something small here.
But I'm not saying that we're doing something that's untoward. I'm just saying let's follow the rules. For instance, in investment. Right?
Let's us follow the rules, or let's China's also following the rules.
Right, exactly. So
they're not going to follow the rules, though.
Right. Then, for example, so let's go into investing. So right now, we have MSCI All World Index went from 0 to 5% to 20% weighting in Chinese equities, right? Okay. Chinese companies, they come here, they register stocks, and list on some of our exchanges, but let's go the unlisted ones, the registered ones. That's $1 trillion they've made off our capital markets. There's no audit or transparency requirements that resembles anything that a U.S. company has to follow, right? So a Chinese company can come in here and get registered and get listed on our stock exchange and get access to our retirement funds. That's what MSCI All World Index is followed by all the institutional investors and the endowments, the university endowments. So our retirement funds get sent over to China to pay for investments that we have no idea actually what they have because they don't have the same audit and transparency requirements of a U.S. company. That's a policy that we have right now. So China can register and list their stocks on our exchanges, and our retirement investment investment officers can send money over to China and they don't have to correspond to the same rules that U.S. companies have to. So make Chinese companies correspond to the exact same rules that U.S. companies have to, and I'll tell you why they won't. Because sending over the audit data is a national security violation in China. In other words, it is treason for you to send the audit information from a Chinese company to the U.S.